So remember the video I made a little while back about like Superscoring and section retakes? There's a little bit of an update about that. We're gonna talk about that right here. So in a nutshell, the ACT, due to COVID-19, they had to rethink how they're going to offer section retakes, Superscoring, as well as registering for the fall and spring test dates that are coming up in the next few months. So I want to talk about that, not just the Superscoring and test retake stuff, but also the upcoming test dates, how you can sign up for them, because they are going to change it up. They're going to be adding the online format. They're going to be adding most likely more test dates. That's what they said, and there's a little bit more information, some layers to it. So let's get into it. All the information that I'm giving you here is straight from the ACT's announcements that they put on their website, that they put through a video on their website, through their blog, as well as their Twitter. So this is all information that's directly from them. I'm not making any of this up. You can see for yourself, and I will include screenshots of this probably towards the end of the video. You'll see. First and foremost, the most important thing, and the reason you probably clicked on this video, is to learn about Superscoring and section retakes. So let's talk about Superscoring first. Superscoring is basically going to stay about the same. They're going to offer it, they said, at some national test centers. What does some national test centers mean? I don't know. Perhaps that just means all of the test centers that you go to and take the test in person, because they said it's a test center. Now that might be in person on a computer or in person on paper in a test center. I don't know what exactly that means, in person or a national test center, but that's what they said. At some national test centers, they will offer you the ability to Superscore your test and send it to colleges that way. Now they will also allow, when it comes to section retaking, where, like I said before, this is where you can basically go to the ACT on your specific test date and just take a certain section and then use that section score to Superscore with scores that you had in the past and create a better Superscore. Now, they will not have section retakes for this coming fall. They said this would be offered in later 2021, which means not this coming school year. Again, it's not really in our control, not really in their control either. I think they wanted to do it, but due to COVID-19 and them wanting to have as many people take the whole ACT as possible, they have this reality where they just have to offer the full test to as many people as possible. It wouldn't necessarily be fair to offer some people to retake the ACT so many times and do just the section retakes or whatever, and there's some people that can't even take the ACT and they haven't even taken it maybe once yet, and they have to sit down and not take the test, while there are people that are section retaking and doing that kind of thing. This is kind of the reality that they have. They want to give as many people that they can the possibility and the chance to take the ACT and use that to boost their applications however they can. Now, I should also touch on the coming test dates. There is still one more summer test date, the July 18th one, and you can still sign up for that up until today. Today is June 19th, and the deadline to apply just to sign up for it is June 19th, so it's today. There's also a late deadline, which is June 26th, so it's a week from today, and you have to basically, it's going to be a regular test. That's going to be in person, it's going to be on paper. Some test centers, the thing is, they might get canceled. That's what happened in the June test. Up until maybe even a few days before your test, you might have noticed that you got an email. Some people did get an email that said, hey, your test is getting canceled because your test center unfortunately does not comply with the CDC's guidelines for COVID-19 and for social distancing and whatnot. Some test centers just couldn't do it. Others, yeah, it was possible and they had the test. I don't know what proportion, what percent. It's really unpredictable. We don't really have statistics on that. But the fact of the matter is, your test center might get canceled in July, and they are offering free cancellation and free rescheduling, at least as of their last update. That's what they said. If I'm wrong, please correct me, because we want to have clear information, but that's what they said, so that is what it is. So you can still sign up for that July one, and you still have a week if you want to use the late registration. When it comes to the fall test dates, there's also a couple things you should notice. The typical fall test date schedule looks like you have one in early September, which is the first one for the school year, and then you have one in late October, and then one in December. Now, they said that they are going to experiment with adding more test dates and more opportunities to take the test, because, like I said, there's only a limited number of test centers that are actually complying with the CDC's guidelines. So there's this weird dynamic where there's like a higher demand than there's supply for tests and test centers. So that's kind of something that's happening, and they're going to consider adding more test dates. That's something that they said. They're also going to consider adding options to take the test at home, like I already mentioned. It's just we don't know when exactly that's going to be, how you sign up, and where you're going to be taking it, whether it's going to be in a computer at a test center or at home on a computer. There's going to be probably a mix of both at certain with various options, so that's another thing to consider. The online testing option, they said, is going to be available in late fall, which means typically around the December or October test date, or in the early winter, which is usually the February one. So that's basically all the information that we have in their recent announcement that came out yesterday, which was June 18th. Now, what does this mean for you? If you are currently a junior and you're about to be a senior this coming year, I recommend that you try to sign up for the ACT as soon as possible. Try to look into the test centers that actually complied with the guidelines in the June test. If you can find out, if you can reach out to people that are in your circle that might have taken the June test and that actually had their test not canceled, then reach out to them, say, hey, what test center did you go to? And try to sign up for that one, because there's a better chance that that one test center that worked in the past will probably work again. As far as if you can't find a test center that did work in June, then just try to sign up for a test, because at the end of the day, it might get canceled right now, but who knows, maybe you can just keep delaying that test until September or October, maybe even December. You can still take the test really late, and colleges are kind of being a bit accommodative for students that can't take the test early. So I wouldn't be too worried about not being able to take the test. You should still take it if you have the ability to. Sign up for whatever test that you can. Ideally, look into the test centers that worked for students in the June test, if you know any students that took it, and just go from there. And as far as whether the online format is going to be easier or harder than the written format, I always think that the written test is easier to take, because for reading and science, you get to write things down, you get to annotate. For math, you get to show your work right there on the page, right next to the answers and the questions. So you can see everything, it's all right in front of you, whereas when you're on a computer, you can't write anything down. Obviously on the test, it's just there on a screen, and if you want to write anything down, you have to look down at your paper, do that kind of thing. I'm not really a fan of that. I like being able to see also for reading science, you get to see all the questions for that passage. You get to see all 10 questions on reading, all 6 or 7 questions for a certain passage on science, which means that you can see the entire reading passage at least, and the associated questions in one view when you're looking at it on a piece of paper. You don't get that on a computer. I believe on a computer you end up taking one question at a time, which kind of stinks. I'd rather be able to see everything, because it just feels a bit better. I can see more of the test at a given amount of time and approach it accordingly. So that's what I'd say for that. I prefer the paper format, but some students might like the online. Only thing with online, I don't know how cheating works out. I obviously academic integrity is important, and if there are students cheating, it works against the students that are not cheating. So there's a bit of a weird dynamic there. Hopefully they'll figure something out that makes the test fair and just works for everyone, for as many people as possible. So I'll leave it at that. I hope that information was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave us questions in the comments below, or go to our website. You can chat with us. We'll answer your questions. There's also links for that in the description. And if you need 6 free practice tests, there are 6 links below in the description, where you can find some free practice resources and some free tutoring as well. So I'll leave it at that. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to like and comment and subscribe. And see you guys in the next video, and good luck on the ACT. Peace.